Good morning, everybody. It is 10 till 7 on a cold, windy morning. Today we are going to head out from Carlisle, PA. It's a Monday, and we are headed up to Claysburg, PA, which is west and a little north, about 100 miles. It sits off of Route 99, so we're going to jump on the turnpike here in Carlisle and head west, hit 99 north, and take that up to Claysburg. We were picking up an excavator out there, a Hitachi ZX245. That will be about 57,000 pounds, and we are hauling that up into New Hampshire today. Probably won't get all the way there, but we will get as far as we can. They actually have wind advisories out today. We have gusts of wind that are 60 or 70 miles an hour. So I checked on 511 PA this morning. There's no restrictions as far as we're not allowed to run. There are a bunch of places where it is the speed limit is reduced and they want trucks in the right lane only, but it shouldn't be a problem. The plan for today is to go pick that up, and then we're going to head up 99, hit 80 east, take that over to a truck stop at Millhall, PA, where we'll fill up with fuel, and then we'll scale it so we know where to pull our permits for the rest of the states, and then we will get as far as we can, see what we can do. So, I left my coffee sitting in my pickup this morning when I got in the truck and left. I had to stop and get some coffee. I can't go without my coffee in the morning. Gotta have it. Close the left lane down. So we got snow all the way across the road here. It's not real bad, but it's definitely right lane only if you're in a truck, I would think. Hopefully it's not like this all the way up 99. Take it slow, shouldn't be a problem. Part of the problem is that it has gotten colder the further west and the further north I've gotten. We started this morning, it was almost 30 degrees. very cold anyway. 50-mile-an-hour winds makes it pretty cold. But now, as we've gotten up here towards Claysburg, the gauge in the truck is reading 23. It has gotten colder and the wind is still really blowing. It's this kind of road that you have to be really careful on. When it's cold like this, especially when the wind is really blowing, that wind chill, it'll freeze the road. And even if they put salt chemicals down, sometimes unless that stuff can melt what's already there and make like a slurry, then nothing thaws, and you can actually get the whole road frozen. You can see on the road here, that's not wet, that's ice. So it's this kind of road that you got to be real careful on. Things can get out of hand real quick. Excavators. Hopefully it's not a huge mess. I don't know. Right there is where we're picking up, where all those orange Hitachi excavators are. Alright, here we are. Well, it doesn't look too bad. We'll lock everything up. Let me get in here. So, just to give you guys a little update of what's going on. We got here to Claysburg. I went in and checked in, and they informed me that this excavator won't start. They said they tried 3 different batteries, they put fuel additive in the fuel, and they can't get the thing to start. So unfortunately they're gonna have to cancel the load. So now we're kind of scrambling, try to pull something off that we can pick up something local here. I don't know. There was a load out of Uniontown that's about 90 miles away. I'm gonna see if we can grab that going out to Indiana. I don't know. We didn't work last week because I got up Monday and we were looking at the load board and there was just nothing on the load board, nothing moving. There was a horrible storm system moving across the U.S. All week last week. So Tuesday we got snow, so we couldn't run, and then there was another storm right behind it. So pretty much Tuesday, Wednesday, it was impossible for us to run anything permitted. So we just sat at home, and then Friday I had to be in court for some personal things. Nothing bad, it's just dealing with foster kids. So Friday I had to be in court, so I couldn't leave on Thursday because I had to be home on Friday. So all week last week was out. So we ended up booking 2 loads on Friday. This load going up to New Hampshire for $3,000, which is good. And then we had a load picking up out of Littleton, Mass, going down to Aberdeen Proving Ground for another $2,400. So we thought that we had $5,400 ready to go beginning of the week next week. And then this morning, the load from Littleton, the POC called and said, hey, that load's not ready, it's not going tomorrow. So that load was canceled. Then we get here and they cancel this load on us. So now we're kind of scrambling, trying to find a load that we can run. We might have something out of Uniontown. We're waiting for this guy to figure out if the load is good and we can pick it up today, run it out to Indiana. So I will keep you guys updated. We'll see what happens. Adventures in trucking, right? Alright guys, so update on that Uniontown load. It is not paying enough. They only had like $2.50 a mile on it, and then we'd have to pay permits out of that, so we're not going to do that. There is a load out of Baltimore for tomorrow that is paying decent. So it's a Cat 325, another excavator. So we're calling on that one right now. So I guess today will just be a wash, and then we'll go home, try again tomorrow. I don't know. Freight's got to start moving at some point this spring. So we're just waiting on everything to open up and construction to start happening again. It's still a little cold for that. Hopefully it'll start moving and we can start making some money this year. Made it back to Carlisle. I'm sitting here waiting to get fuel. Truck stop is crazy. But thought I'd give you a rundown of what happened today. Just kind of a summary. So we had 2 loads booked. The first load was coming out of Massachusetts back down here to Maryland. That one canceled because it wasn't ready. So we also had a load booked out of Claysburg, PA, going up to New Hampshire. That was going to get us up to that load to Massachusetts. We ran all the way to Claysburg. Apparently they couldn't get it to start this morning, so they ended up canceling that load on us. So, and again, in the interest of just kind of, I know I get a lot of comments asking, how long I've been trucking, how long did it take to become an owner-operator, to get into RGN work, all that kind of stuff. So I just want to, in the interest of that, I promise I'm not trying to complain every time I do a video. This is part of being an owner-operator. So we had loads booked. I deadheaded 100 miles to get to that Claysburg load. And I say it's part of being an owner-operator. It's also part of RGN work. Wintertime like this, when there's no construction going on, I mean, there's just not as much freight moving. So there's a lot of times where, especially when you have, this equipment is expensive, so your payments are going to be higher. So your rate per mile has to be higher to cover everything. In getting this truck and this trailer, I tried to position us in a spot where it was a little more expensive, but not so expensive that we weren't, there's a middle ground there where it's expensive, but there's good money to be made still. You're not spending, $4 a mile on equipment. But the other side of that is you can't take loads that are paying, $2 a mile or $2.20 a mile, because then you're losing money when you're running. So you have to be particular in the loads that you take in order to meet your expenses and make some money. And if you can't do that, what's the point? You might as well, sell your equipment and go work for somebody else at that point. So what happened this morning is we had those 2 loads booked. They canceled, but we ended up deadheading 100 miles there. They canceled that load. We did find another load out of Baltimore for tomorrow. Today is President's Day, so the port's closed, so we couldn't have picked it today if we wanted to. But we will get that load tomorrow. But that means we deadheaded 100 miles to Claysburg, 100 miles back. It was Pennsylvania Turnpike both ways. So that's, probably $80 in tolls at a minimum. The broker, they were very apologetic. They paid us what's called a truck order not used. So that they'll pay you if they order your truck and then they don't use your truck. But that was $150. They did graciously pay for the permit that we pulled on top of it, so it ended up being, the permit was $170 for Pennsylvania. So it ended up being like a $320 truck order not used. We use a factoring company, and they basically, when we run a load, instead of sending our invoice to the company that we ran the load for, the broker, our factoring company will buy that invoice from us. So if it's $1,000 invoice, they will pay us, what's 3% less than $1,000. They'll pay us $970 for that invoice. But we get it immediately. We can be funded in as little as 24 hours with our factoring company. So a lot of companies in trucking, they'll pay net 30 or net 45, which means once you invoice them, it's a month until you get paid from that. And I feel like I would rather have my money for a month, and I can make more money with that money. So the $30 off of $1,000 is worth it to me. And it may not be worth it to some people. Everybody's entitled to run their business the way they want to run their business. To me, $30 off of $1,000 is worth it, and I don't have to deal with invoicing. They basically become my accounts receivable. So all that said, they don't buy truck orders not used. So the truck order not used, we will have to wait until it gets paid. So that could be 30 or 45 days. So all in all today, I got up at 6 o'clock, pre-tripped the truck, drove 100 miles out there, sat there for half an hour while we were trying to figure things out, drove 100 miles back home. I'll put probably $600 or $700 worth of fuel in the truck and then go park. So it'll be noon or 12:30 by the time I'm done. So that's 6 hours of work and spent $700, and we will get paid $300. Actually spent more like almost $900 if you include the cost of the permit, and we might get paid $300 of that in a month. So that is the downside of being an owner-operator. If you were a company driver, you would just get up, go in, they dispatch you. If the load wasn't good, they'd probably put you on a different load or just bring you back. You're getting paid for your hours or your miles regardless. And then you just go home, you come back to work tomorrow. With an owner-operator, it's all on you. So and not like this was my fault at all, that the machine wouldn't start, but the buck stops with you when you're an owner-op. So even though it wasn't my fault, I pay for the fuel in my truck, I pay for the permit, it's all on me, which is okay, because the pro side of being an owner-operator is that I don't have a boss. I can take whatever load I want when I want. Like last week, the weather was crap, so I stayed home. I didn't even have to work. Again, I'm not trying to complain all the time in these videos. I just want to give you guys an inside look at what it means to be an owner-operator. So yeah, today was kind of a failure to launch. So we will try again tomorrow, and I will see you guys guys in the next video.